What's going on, boys and girls? I wanted to jump on and talk about our upcoming match against Brighton in the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. I wanted to dive into what I believe the starting 11 should look like and just kind of have a general conversation around this whole, do we go full strength? Do we rotate? What do we do? And look, I think I've said this a number of times on this channel whereby we finally have a squad that allows us to go strong in every single game of every single competition. And that is such a great place to be in. And so I really think, I don't think we should be in a position anymore where we have a set starting 11, our strongest starting 11. I think the quality of this squad is so good now that no matter who you're bringing in and taking out, the expectation should be to win that game based on the level of quality of players that we have in the squad. So I think there are definitely some players who deserve a chance tomorrow to kind of step in and show what they can do. So I do think we should look to rotate a little. But at the same time, I want to win this football match. And I want to win the Carabao Cup, actually. I'm going to be really greedy this season. I think for the last few seasons, we've let a few competitions slide by. And I think this season, I want to be incredibly selfish. And whether it's realistic or not, and I'm sure a lot of you will laugh at me in the comment section, I want Arsenal to be going after every single competition they're in. I really do. And this is no different. So, look, I think for me, in terms of starting 11 for this match against Brighton tomorrow, Brighton are a very good team. They are a very good team. I wouldn't say they've had our number over the last couple of years, but they've definitely taken a few W's from us and have managed to do relatively well against us in the last few seasons. So this is definitely not going to be a straightforward game. And obviously, if we do rotate rather heavily for this match, you do run the risk of maybe not quite having the cohesion that you would normally have with a kind of set 11. So we do run that risk, but at the same time, I would like to think that the players that are given the chance tomorrow rise to the occasion to try and show and prove their worth to maybe be in that starting 11. So I think in goal, look, I think you have to play Kepa in goal tomorrow. I know that Raya is number one. I know he is without question head and shoulders above Kepa, but I think at the end of the day, if you're not playing Kepa in the Carabao Cup, when are you really going to play him? So I do expect to see Kepa in goal tomorrow. I've heard that Saliba is out tomorrow. I'm really hoping that's more cautionary and just kind of giving him an opportunity to rest more than anything, because I don't want to see an injury to Saliba right now at this point in the season. So I think Timber, I'm happy to rest Timber. I think Ben White is in desperate need of some game time, and I would like to see Ben White come in on the right. I think on the left-hand side, look, I was going to say Lewis Skelly, but I think there might be a different option here with Lewis Skelly for tomorrow's game. And so I'm really keen to see Nketiah step up and get a proper kind of 60, 70-minute opportunity to kind of see what type of player we've got here. I think Arteta rates him very highly. He kind of described him as a warrior in his press conference yesterday. And I think Nketiah is in a position now where he's probably fit enough and up to speed to start in that left wing position. So I'm going to go with White on the right and Nketiah on the left. I think Mosquera is going to step in and take Saliba's spot. And I think what that means is that Gabriel will keep his spot, because that's a lot of change to what's been probably the strongest part of our team, the back four and the goalkeeper. So I'm talking about essentially swapping out 4 of the 5 defensive unit for this game, which is quite a risky move. But as I've said before, I think we have a strong enough squad to be able to do something like that. So I'm going to go Kepa in goal, White on the right, Nketiah on the left, Gabriel, Mosquera. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. And I don't think Arteta will do this, but if I was Arteta and it was my choice to make, I'd be putting Lewis Skelly in that 6 role. He essentially plays in that position when he does play left fullback anyway. I think Zubimendi needs a bit of a break. He's played a lot of football since signing. And so I'd love to see Lewis Skelly be given a chance in that 6 role. In the 8, I don't think we need to play Rice. He was one of the players that came off on the weekend against Crystal Palace. And so even if he is nursing the smallest of knocks, I don't see the need to take the risk with him. So I would probably look to play either Merino or potentially Eze in that left 8 role. So I think he'll probably go with Merino. And then I think Nwaneri will probably go into the 10. I mean, this is the thing. We have so many options here. So, for example, I've completely bypassed Norgard. He might put Norgard in the 6. But then I would feel sorry for Lewis Skelly on the premise that I think Lewis Skelly did an amazing job against Atletico Madrid, and I think he is very much deserving of an opportunity to start a match like this. So, do you go with Lewis Skelly or Nkapia on the left fullback position? Or do you give Lewis Skelly a shot in the 6, but then not give Norgard a chance in the 6, who's barely played any minutes for the club so far? So this is what I'm talking about. There's just so many options that we've got to play with. So maybe he goes with Norgard in the 6 and Lewis Skelly stays on the bench. Because I do think he wants to give Nkapia a run. So maybe that's what he does. And then again, like, Nwaneri is desperate for minutes. I really want to see Nwaneri start this match. I think he is one of the most deserving of a starting position. He's played very little minutes for the team so far, and so I would love to see him get a chance in that 10 role. I'd keep Saka on the right. He didn't have a great game against Crystal Palace. I think at the end of the day, he's already had a little bit of break at the beginning of the season with a small injury, and so as long as he is fit and ready to go, I think given that we're talking about making a lot of changes through the side, I'd like to keep Saka on that right-hand side. It sounds like Martinelli is out for the game, so it might be a case of putting Eze on the left. Or he might play Trossard. He might play Trossard on the left. And then I think up front, again, this is where injuries to Jesus and Havertz and Madueke is becoming a bit of an issue, because these are the type of games where you'd like to give Gyökeres a chance to take a bit of a break, because Gyökeres has literally just been getting pounded every game, 90 minutes, 90 minutes, 90 minutes, and he's played a lot of football, and I think he probably is in need of a bit of a rest. But right now we don't have a kind of out-and-out replacement for Gyökeres in the number 9 position, other than Merino. So he might put Eze in the 8, Nwaneri in the 10, Saka on the right, Trossard on the left, and play Merino up front to give Gyökeres a bit of a break. He might do that. So right now I'm just rambling. I don't think I'm actually picking a first 11, which is kind of cool, because I think in years gone by it was so straightforward to pick your starting 11, whether that was because you just knew who the best 11 players were or because you had such few options that you were kind of left with little options. So the fact that I'm now kind of juggling players left, right, and center and kind of coming up with all these different scenarios that Arteta can consider is really cool, and it's a really great place to be coming in from. So yeah, I probably haven't actually picked a starting 11 now that I think about it. But look, I'm just gonna say it again one more time. I'm gonna go Kepa in goal, Ben White at right back. I'm gonna go Nkapia on the left, Gabriel Mosquera in the center. He'll probably go with Norgard in the 6. And then I think he'll probably go Eze in the 8, Nwaneri in the 10, Saka on the right, Trossard on the left, and maybe Merino up top. He might go with that. And look, that should be more than good enough to get past Brighton. Again, taking nothing away from Brighton, they're a very good side, but we are at home, we are full of confidence, and I think despite the fact we're taking a lot of that defensive unit out and giving them a rest and bringing in a lot of new faces, I think, as I've said, those players will be desperate to prove that they should be in that first 11. So I'm expecting to see some strong performances from those players looking to prove their worth to Arteta. So I think it'll be an exciting game. I think this will be more of an open game. I don't think we'll have the kind of defensive rigidness that we're so used to with our typical backline. And I'm thinking that we might see a little bit more of a kind of, not end-to-end game, but I am hoping that we see a little bit more of an expansive game from Arsenal against Brighton. And yeah, at the end of the day, I fully expect us to get a win. That's the mood I'm in right now. I'm going into every game expecting us to win. And tomorrow is no different. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win with Arsenal, for Arsenal. I don't think it'll be straightforward, but I do think we'll find a way to get the win. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know your starting 11. Let me know whether you think we should rotate or go strong. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day, and let's hope we are cheering on a big Arsenal win and into the quarterfinals of a cup competition. Bye.